Welcome back to ZGEN.Global podcast. I'm your host, Sumit Rai, co-founder and CEO of ZGEN.Global. So now what we are doing in ZGEN.Global is building a digital infrastructure layer for university to university collaboration and partnerships at scale. I'm very happy and excited to welcome our guest, Mr. Ninad Sapre from MIT WPU University. He's an assistant admissions director there, and he has agreed to be on our podcast today to give insights on what is happening around inward mobility of the students, which is also a connected part of internationalization. Very happy to welcome you, Ninad, on our show, and it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you so much for inviting me as one of the speakers. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. So my first question, Ninad, to you is, in the context of internationalization, what is that one thing which currently is making sense for you in whole of those stories which is going around?
So I believe the internationalization does not restrict it only with the numbers of the students, the how many number of international students you have, or not just the signing of MOUs with different universities. So because there are multiple angles for that, I believe when it comes to the internationalization, this university should focus about creating an actual platform for the students community or for the faculty community, where they will get chance for research orientation, scope for the research, publications, patents, specifically in terms of faculty I'm talking about. When it's come to the students, they should get the diversity in the classrooms, the cultural exchange, because the university need to focus primarily there should be a dialogues between the foreign national students and the local students.
Right.
If it is not happening, then the purpose is not getting solved.
Right.
So if everything is around the student centric, and I believe it will be more fruitful for the universities to call as a internationalization.
Right.
So there are multiple impacts, as I said.
Right. So for the knowledge of our audience, I will just quickly list down what does we mean by internationalization. I think there are 7-8 topics which are largely covered in internationalization. You start with student exchange programs, then you move on to a faculty exchange program, then we talk about joint research programs, then we talk about immersive programs where we send students for a week or 2 week long, study tour outside India to a partner university. We are recently talking about quite a lot on twinning programs, offering dual degrees, joint degrees, 1+1 degree in masters or 2+2 degrees in bachelors, where you spend half of your time in India, half of the time at the partner university. We're also talking about virtual exchanges, research exchanges, collaborative research, joint research. All this becomes a part of internationalization as an umbrella. And for the sake of audience, I want to put a little bit more emphasis why this internationalization is gaining momentum. I think there are a couple of reasons around it. One, of course, is the framework which NEP 2020 has given and mandated a lot of universities to go deeper into internationalization. And now the universities, a lot of the universities, let's leave aside the top ones which are already doing it in different ways and styles, but then a lot of upcoming universities, new age universities, for them it's a need of the hour to go more on internationalization and what are the topics they can touch on internationalization. One of the interesting topic on internationalization is, of course, the inward mobility of students. So, students coming from abroad, studying at Indian campuses, and I think that's largely the vision of our Prime Minister Modi as well, is that we want to have around 100,000 Indian students by the time it's 2030. And I think we will also cover this topic in detail with Ninad, because he comes with an expertise on hiring international students to come on the campuses. But we'll also touch about more topics on internationalization. So my next question to you, Ninad, on the same topic is the advent of transnational education in India. Government has opened doors for foreign universities to come and open their campuses. Do you see this as an opportunity or a challenge? That's my first question.
Okay. I will say like, basically this kind of opportunities, basically not a threat or a challenge. In fact, the university, like Indian universities, got a chance to upskill them, because in various factors, they can really, observe what is, of course, we are already doing it, we are already following it. But now, since it was not abroad, the competition in abroad with the universities abroad campuses, but those universities coming to India, that is giving you a more, I will say, the healthy competition platforms. So you have to be enough competitive to give tough competition to all these international campuses. That is how I look at it.
So from your perspective, do you see that Indian universities are a bit scared, or how they are perceiving this opportunity? Because I can imagine some large universities would be seeing is, bring it on, and we are there and we are ready.
Okay.
But what about some other universities who would think that this might eat up to their business?
Tier 2, Tier 3 kind of universities. Yes, definitely there is a challenge for them probably.
Yeah.
As you said, large universities means Tier 1, or you can say the top universities, NAC ranking and IRF ranking.
Yeah.
So definitely they will not face many challenges. But as you correctly said, those who are into the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities or come under that category, definitely those universities will have little challenges as compared with the universities who already established their brands in India.
Right.
So for the new coming universities, upcoming universities, the competition is not only with the Indian universities, but that will be competition with the abroad, which have settled down their campuses, or they have settled down as a campuses, full-fledged campuses in India. So that will be a competition for them.
Right.
Major challenge.
Right. I understand. Do you think Indian universities are ready to accept global students? How ready, on the parameter of 1 to 10, if I have to ask you, how do you rate the readiness of our Indian universities accepting foreign students on the campus?
Oh, okay. It's a good question. So if you see the scenario, inbound students coming from abroad to India, the numbers is somewhere between 45,000 to 50,000 per year.
Right.
Whereas the number of going student abroad, like study abroad from India, it is almost 8 lakh to 9 lakhs per year. It is almost 16 times higher.
Yes.
Okay. So there is a huge gap. There is a huge gap. Obviously, there are certain parameters. There are certain reasons behind it. For example, students coming to India. If you see the kind of students coming to us for the 100% or like I will say full-time programs, not for the exchange programs, but those who are coming for the full-time programs are basically from the developing countries.
Right.
Okay, like African countries or SAARC countries, right? Few might be from the Middle East countries. And students going from, going to other countries, those are already developed countries.
Right.
So there is a difference because of the geopolitical things also, ecosystems. Because what is the students, when they decided to go for a study abroad, what is the first is, of course, the quality of the education.
Right.
That is first priority always.
Right.
Second is the cost.
Right.
That plays a major role because if you have, good amount of your money, and definitely then you will probably choose, the 3 options like maybe UK, US and Australia.
Right.
Top
three,
top countries across the world.
Yes.
But if you don't come from the or you came with a very humble background with not financial great background, then definitely you're looking after the other options maybe, or maybe some scholarships options. So as you say, the Indian universities are ready or not. I feel since I am into the internationalization past more than 6 years now,
right,
and I see there is a change happening. Okay, more and more universities wanted to become a part of this ecosystem where they are inviting more and more number of students on their campus from different part of the world. One is the student diversity, which helps them. Second, it helps them to improve the rankings,
Right.
which we also, talked about the NRF ranking and the NAC ranking.
Right.
So I believe these are the important points also already taken care by or already understood by the Indian universities, and they're already working on it. So yes, they're giving the scholarships, different platforms, maybe some to and fro tickets. Okay. So there are freebies also they're offering. So it depends upon their policies, their marketing strategies, it depends. But yes, they are already into these systems, and they are focusing to grow in terms of numbers of the students.
Right.
That is it's already on the process.
Right. I think you rightly gave the good gap analysis, if I have to put it. Right. India accepting around 50,000 international students, while the outbound mobility is around 1 million students every year. And that's where I see lies a great opportunity for Indian education system. And rightly so, the recruiting nation, the SAARC countries, the African countries, where they are under development. We are also a developing country, but I think economy size-wise and probably on the development index, we probably are higher
we are better
than these countries. And then for these students, while we offer them a lot of opportunities to come to India, they still see a lot of validity and a lot of opportunity as well for them to come to India and study. The only thing which I personally understand from the industry point of view, that although these students are coming to India to study, they are not allowed to stay back. You see, if for students coming from an African country or from the SAARC countries, if this element is not connected to their ROI, which means that then they simply can study and go back with whatever cost they have incurred. It does not give them a further qualification in terms of improving their ROI or salaries or things like this. Whereas in reverse, the outward mobility of the students, they get this opportunity of ROIs and building their lives in the developed country, or maybe if they come back to India, they still have a better life in terms of opportunities. What happened to these students when they finish their studies? Yeah, they go back. They go back is what the mandate from the government is. How do you want to address this criticality, and how do you see this changing life or impacting the decisions of these students coming to India for study?
So basically, I got a chance to attend the meetings with Study in India officials. I hope you must be aware about there is a Indian government has started the initiative called Study in India.
Yes,
where they wanted to as you said, they wanted to give a boost for more and more students inwards, like
Correct.
Expecting more and more students from different parts of the world come
Correct.
to India for higher studies. So that platform has launched by the government of India, and so I got a chance to attend some of the meetings in Delhi, about the discussion about the same. And we also, as a university, people gather from the different parts of the India, and we also make this particular point which you are which you are talking about, that if we can give some kind of employment opportunities for these kind of foreign national students, maybe for a shorter duration, maybe for a 1 year, maybe
Correct.
for a 2 years.
Correct.
If it is not for a long-term period, at least they will get some opportunity to recover the money which they have invested.
Correct. Correct.
Because even though students are coming to India for higher studies, for them it's not easy.
Right.
Because they look for the sponsors.
Correct.
Maybe they look for the education loan.
Correct.
And their situation is, I will say, not easy. It's very challenging.
Right.
If you compare with Indian education system or economic system, economic growth which we are seeing right now, and if you compare with some of the African countries, they are still struggling
Yes.
for the basics, food, shelter, educations. And we are blessed with a lot of opportunities, the ecosystem which created by the, of course, multiple people with the government help.
Yes.
Of course. So we are lucky enough, but still, as I said, yes, so opportunities are there, but they should get, if officially, if they will get some, boosting by the
Incentives.
government policies.
Yes.
Because this question I also asked one of my team member who is from the placement department.
Right.
So he said, Ninad, when it comes to the internships or the placements, for Indian students and the students from Nepal, we will not have a problem because Nepal and India has
Kind of integrated. Yes.
the treaty between, so there is no visa policy.
Right.
So these students will definitely, we are already giving them the opportunities
Yes.
because of its open policy.
Correct.
But yes, we are facing challenges for giving the internships, because internships is okay. Sometimes
Yes.
they do get internships,
Yes.
maybe a paid or free, depends upon the programs and all. But when it comes to the placements for the foreign nationals, Government of India rules are very strict.
Very clear.
The students on the student visa cannot do jobs in
India. Correct.
So that's the challenge.
Correct. Yeah, and that's where my question, kind of circle back again. What is the incentive for the Indian government in this case to have more and more foreign nationals coming to India? Because if I understand this right, their education is subsidized to an extent either by the university or by the government itself to bring them to India and study. So what is the larger objective which Indian government is trying to solve with respect to bringing foreign students on Indian campuses, if I have a bite on that?
So, as I said, the Study in India portal, which was started by the Government of India, and they initially they started with giving 2,000 students 100% scholarships.
Yeah.
So, yes, so the government is keen to, give boosting to these, initiatives. And they are on the right path, but it depends upon, again, the budget.
Right.
Because since we are a larger populated country, we have many other, lot of, over expenses and a lot of expenses the government has to look at. Giving scholarships to the international students, maybe the numbers always were restricted.
Yeah.
They cannot, even if they want, they cannot go beyond certain numbers.
Yeah.
Like 2,000 which is the highest number, which right now they are focusing on.
Right.
But I'll give the perspective from the university point. Okay, because it's not always, you cannot depend upon the government. It's as a university, it's our responsibility also to do our job, like giving back to the society.
Right.
I can say like CSR activities, corporate social responsibilities. So as a university, when we are into the education sector, it's our moral responsibility also to help the government to achieving these kind of targets or the numbers. So as a university, we are including MIT WPU, we are offering scholarship to the students, international students, from 50% up to 100%. Okay, so we are giving these kind of platforms or the opportunities to the international students, whereas we're also giving them the scholarships on the basis of merit base. Okay, some of the scholarships, like sports based scholarships. So yes, we are putting the efforts from our side only. It's not that we only expect from the government. You just look for the government, what is their stand or what is their decisions. I think you, as a university, we also need to create the opportunities and the ecosystems for the foreign national students to come here and study. I think these are the
No, rightly said. I think somewhere, and how I see it, I think in support of our Indian government, I think because this piece of inward mobility of the students is largely connected to QS Global ranking as well. And while at the moment in India there are a handful of universities who are at the QS Global ranking framework, rest of them are at different levels. The objective of Indian government, so with what I understand, is they want to see that Indian education is welcomed and is perceived higher in global index. And one of the way they look at it is, how many universities now entered into your QS framework, QS ranking and global QS ranking, not Asia, India, iGauge and all that, but the QS level, because that's how you can then perceive, being perceived higher at the global peers, right? How does government do this? And this inward mobility is one of the key aspect of bringing Indian universities closer to QS ranking framework, and that's how I think the pieces gets connected and gets justified that I'm okay to incentivize international students to come on my campus and study, but I am hitting the larger objective, which is to bring the Indian education system at par with some of the global peers, and that's where I think it's rightly been answered by you that one of those responsibilities of not only the government but the universities has to play their part in terms of bringing these students hitting the larger objective of the university and the government. Rightly said. So coming back to my next question on internationalization, Ninad. So apart from having inward mobility, there are a lot of talks around joint programs, twinning programs, and a few of them I keep on reading in the news that they're getting of the hook, and a few of them are signing up. What is the challenge you see in getting started these twinning programs or joint programs with foreign universities? How easy it is that you just come in and you plan a curriculum and you start, or integrated? What are the challenges there which you see at the moment?
See, I feel the guidelines from the government, like UGC, those need to be defined clearly. Because see, when it comes to the twinning program, okay, it's all about the degree. So like both the universities can give degree, or the students will come clear the first part 2 years in India and then study 2 years abroad, and then the final degree he will get from those particular universities. So there are a lot of I will say different modules to be on work on. Either both the universities should give the degrees, from since he is spending 2 years here and 2 years there. So those guidelines need to be framed and worked by the, of course, UGC, and I think there is no clarity about those. So it is not catching up. There is still slowdown. I mean, you can see the immersion programs like MIT has MIT has a international immersion program, where we take our students to visit to universities maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks, to the UK, Australia, US, Germany, different universities, Singapore for that matter. But yes, so we are also under the study of, we are already studying these policies of tuning the program, launching maybe 2+2, 2 years here, 2 years abroad. So we are also under study of this. We are already, our team, internationalization team, Dr. Pradnesh Desai is also working on it closely, and we are also taking the inputs from the industry, what need to be done. So yes, I feel it's a good opportunity, but yes, more clear guidelines from the government policies, because see, when it's come to the degree, it's matter a lot, but because when the students is going to spend a lot of money, the degree validation or the recognition, not only in India but abroad also is most important part. So because equivalence is most important, the credit transfer is most important. So there are a lot of things which all evolve or connected in this particular the topic. It's not that easy.
No, I see there are challenges. There are still, in the absence of probably deeper guidelines, I think these are left to interpretation by the experts at the university itself, how you want to execute it. The international universities run on a different calendar year and module versus our Indian universities calendar. I think that's the first. So integrating into existing program would be a challenge rather than starting a new program altogether, designing a joint curriculum and launching it into a framework where the timelines are mapped within India and the foreign partner. This brings me to another question, Ninad, is it is interesting how the TNE is developing, right? Now, do you see the joint degree programs or the twinning programs a direct competition to TNE's transnational education in India?
Challenging, in fact, again, I will say it is an opportunity again, because MIT WPU has taken the initiative already. MIT WPU Goa campus we are launching in this year.
Yeah, I've seen
September
somewhere, yes.
2026. And the concept of this university is completely transdisciplinary education.
Okay.
So it is no more with the the cultural or the routine multiple disciplinary university.
Yeah.
It's a transdisciplinary university where it is, of course, the university people are involved into the framing of the syllabus or or the entire new university. But apart from that, the stakeholders from the outsiders also.
Okay.
Industry experts.
Okay.
Maybe the students, maybe IB schools. The experts from the IB schools. The immigration experts, because when you're because it's a transdisciplinary university, we have our VCs from outside India, the foreigners. So there are multiple people getting involved, not from the India context, but the abroad. So the agency, consultants agency is also from abroad. So they have expertise into this and they're guiding us. So definitely it will going to interesting. And at the same time, yes, it's a challenging because you say the tuning programs and all which you already started. Of course, the international campuses has also started here.
Yeah.
So that will be again one of the competition.
Right.
But I think it will be excited. We are excited about it, and we also wanted to try in this particular area.
Right.
And I think since MIT is having 43 years of legacy into the education,
Right.
So our seniors, definitely Mr. Rahul Karad,
Yes.
under the guidance of Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, has set their visions what they want
Very nice.
to achieve out of this.
No, I think the larger objective around is how the student benefits. I think that's the whole story, because student is the key around all what we set up. And with the TNE, they get a very different perspective of learning. And with, of course, the current situation in geopolitics, this is probably one of the approaches which parents and students might take. On the other side, the twinning program still give them an opportunity to earn 10x more than what they would earn in India. The global exposure, the global lifestyle, which they would look forward to. So this could also become a very good proposition for Indian students. So in short, our Indian students would now have multiple options, multiple opportunities, be in India at an Indian university, be it in India at a foreign university, or spend some time in India and some time eventually at a foreign university to enjoy all the benefits of being a study abroad student outside India. So I think this has opened up a lot more opportunities around this. So good going on this topic of internationality, Ninad, and this brings me to my next question, and I would like to also understand from you, how is research at the moment perceived as a part of, let's say, your university, if you have an understanding around this, and the overall objective of research at Indian universities. And I'll tell you why I asked this question to you, because I've been talking to various stakeholders and universities on the research topic as well. I realize the Indian government is pushing quite a lot on research, and they have massive budgets for publications. Yeah, but on the other side, I look at the intent of Indian universities getting the publications out. That's one part. But what about the quality output of the research? What are your take from MIT WPU? How are you looking to improve the research output with a wish to what has been currently done in terms of publications?
Okay. So when it's come to the MIT WPU, we have of course, the visionary Dr. Rahul Karad is already giving a lot of importance for a research, and definitely he's also trying to implement new incentives. They have launched recently. We have launched the incentives for the faculty members.
Okay.
For the publications and then research and then patents. So because it's a general practice everywhere,
right?
Across the globe,
right?
It is not new, but yes, taking initiative and implementing is very important part. Giving, encouraging to the faculty members, because faculty members are already overloaded with the multiple things, as
Correct.
you know.
Correct.
When it's come to the Indian context,
right.
The universities. But yes, research is primarily should be the focus of the universities. Almost we have almost 5,000 plus publications right now till the date.
Wow.
And of course there are many more we also get the grants from the governments, from DRDOs for the different projects. We get the industry projects also. Since Pune is surrounded by the industry, so we get projects by the industry like Skoda, one of the automotive company. Then pharmaceutical companies, we get a lot of projects, we have a pharmacy, B.Pharm program.
Yeah.
So our faculty members get projects by the pharmacy companies.
Okay.
So it is not only the research publication, but I will say the funding from the government bodies and the industries for the research, this is also important factor. And yes, we are on it, and we are. But yes, as you said, in India context, the universities are spending less, or having budget. If you ask me, really, it is really less. I think we need to more focus on increasing the budgets, and I feel since the competition is growing, definitely the Indian universities will definitely focusing on this research area.
Excellent. I think this research part also circle backs to all the internationality which we are talking about, and it is now playing a major role in terms of your rankings and upgradations to different levels. So yes, I'm glad that MIT is doing wonderful in research side, and I think a lot of universities would get inspired how to pick this up in the coming future. In continuation to our dialogue on internationality, my next question to you, Ninad, is in 10 years from now, how do you see these foreign branch campuses, the university campuses which have now put their foot on Indian soil? Which one of them you see really succeeding, and which one you would see quietly fade away? Just give me an honest opinion around with the current scenario.
So it is very tricky question. No one knows about 2 years down the line what will happen, because we are living in the era of AI. We don't know about what will happen with the entire university ecosystem with up to 5 years down the line.
Right.
Because if you heard about Mr. Sridhar, he is a ZO founder.
Yes, Wimbu.
Yes, Wimbu. He said that we are okay with the students coming from any qualification. We will train them, even if they don't have a university degree. It's okay.
Right.
We will train them on AI and other specialized skills, technical skills, and we will give them the jobs.
Right.
So this is one, of course, how the response for this, because I believe in India we have very strong education roots.
Yes.
Okay. And not this, it's new, but it's past, couple of years or multiple years. Since
the foundation is
very strong.
Yes.
The education foundation is very strong.
Yes.
In our culture, still the parents owes the responsibility of his or her child education.
Correct.
And they happily give the sponsorship to their child.
Correct.
So they do play an important role into the child education.
Right.
And yes, so I feel keeping context in this point, there is a long way to go. for all the universities. When it's come to the international universities, I think there are a lot of factors are involved, because when it's come to the international students, they look majorly for the, as I said, of course, the quality of the education, no doubt about it. But the second very important factor is the cost. The kind of cost, how much the cost they have to bear. Of course, the program fees, and then your staying, your mess, your food. So there are a lot of things are requirement. So I think I will say in short, budget is also very much important, because as you clearly said, the ROI will going to play a major role. So which university is competitive enough to give the degree as well as in the lesser cost, which will help them to get better ROI.
Right.
And obviously the university stands in terms of rankings, across the globe. Like you said about the QS ranking.
Right.
I think that will also play a major roles.
Right.
I think that is what I wanted to say about your point.
So, it's fair to say that some of these points, also need to be looked very closely by Indian parents and
Yes.
Indian students when they decide on this TNE education, right? Any specific advice for parents which you would like to give while they evaluate an opportunity or an option between an Indian university or TNE? One specific advice for the parents, what they should look at.
I think the parents should give first priority to the student choice and not their own choice. They have to, because
We all connected to ROI anyways.
I know. But the parent has to give them the first choice to the student preference, of course, with the guidance, with the proper guidance. Second, important, the Indian education has proved already. If you see all the multinational companies, say about top 5 companies, are leaders or leading by the
Indians.
Indians.
Yes.
Those who have completed their graduation in India.
Correct.
Sundar Pichai,
Yeah.
Google,
Yeah.
Satya Nadella, Microsoft.
Yeah.
So there are multiple people, not only these two. There are many people.
They're leading, yes.
Yes. So they're leading the world's top companies. Done their graduation might be in India. So it is proven that the talent of the India and the education system is already proven.
Right.
So it's not, of course, but definitely the parents and the students has different aspirants. They wanted to explore the world and the globe. So obviously they wanted to send their kids outside India. But yes, I think this is very important. As I said, the student choice is also important at the same time. And of course, as you said, ROI. So the parents also need to check their own pocket before choosing any particular destination as for the higher education for their kid.
Correct. I think you rightly said, our education system is proven, but valued by West. That is where I think the take is that am I actually getting valued after completing my studies in India? And I think that's the answer which probably all these founders of the top companies nowadays and the CEOs, global CEOs have figured out, and eventually they got valued elsewhere. Imagine they've been part of the Indian system here, then things would have been so different.
Definitely.
I think you have rightly summed up many things, Ninad, for us, for our audience, and giving them a perspective about being in India, what do the international students should expect, how the government is responding, how the Indian competition is gearing up, upgrading themselves, and how do they see this more as an opportunity than as a threat. And I think it's all been summed up. My last question, Ninad, to you is, before we end this podcast, is if today, given one opportunity to you with all the backing, with all the resources available, what is that one thing which you would like to implement and execute, given your past experience from the 20 years in this industry? And now just imagine that you have a full hand in terms of one idea which you would like to execute on internationality or in higher education system in India.
Okay. So I will put it this way. First set, probably we need to educate more and more Indian people for the acceptance of foreign nationals. Okay. Because I feel you need to create the ecosystem, for someone to come to your country,
Right.
and get settled down.
Right.
Okay. So there is a need of the local people need to get aware about the acceptance. Of course, in India we have seen the acceptance, we already have it, but I feel more we need to think about all these aspects, how we welcome, because since we already have in Sanskrit, Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Yeah.
So the world is whole family.
Right.
Okay. But I feel if in current scenario, I don't think so we are still associated with this frame anymore. I think we should rethink about our thinking, thought process, and welcoming students from abroad. Not only the students, but for that matter the tourists also.
Right.
If you see over the period, there are a lot of incidents happens and then challenges happen. But of course, I think India has a great future. There is a lot of scope for improvement, I feel, in terms of civic sense. That is also a major part. Because see, when the students coming from abroad, they see safety is most important.
Yes.
And if you want to increase the number of students, if you expect, yes, there should be, the students should come, more and more number of students should increase. Safety is most important. So the ecosystems, which I said, the ecosystem, of course, the government has some limitations because, considering the India and the populations, giving the job easily to all these foreign nationals, which is not possible. But as a Indians, I said, as you said, ask me, and I feel that there are a lot of things which we can do, and we can welcome a lot of people from across the world. And if you really really think about all those positive things, and definitely, so India will be next, I will say on the world map, we will definitely see as a great destination for the higher education for all the students across the world.
Right. Excellent. I think you really hit the nail with respect to what the government needs to do, what we as citizen of India needs to do if we really want to make India as truly a place, a global place for international students to come, study and thrive. I think couldn't have summed it better. Thank you so much, Ninad, for this interesting conversation with us at ZGEN.Global. I think this will definitely give a lot of ideas and inputs to Indian students, parents who are looking forward to send their students to India, and on top of it, to the stakeholders who are really looking forward to have these students, but what needs to be done before they have these students on the campuses. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
Today. Thank you. It was lovely having you here. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Pleasure. If you are in a university and would like to know more about internationalization and research and how we are helping using our technology and platform to achieve your ranking, NIRF ranking, accreditations and QS goals, do follow us on our channel across social media platforms or write back to us, and we would be glad to get on a one-on-one discussion with you. Thank you so much for watching.